The project called
Better Me Than You.
You got 2 records on the last project. So how does that go down from start to finish?
The way it happened was my homie Lil Rich. He hit me one day and was like, yo, I'm working on some joints for Big Sean. Like, be ready.
I said, fuck these meetings.
Cancel.
Sean ended up liking them, thankfully.
What songs did your beats end up on?
Who You Are.
The Usher sample.
Serve a tail number and a tail fare.
Another record called Yes.
New shit might get spooky, had to bring the waves back.
Rich put that together. He brought me in on them records. I got verses to a couple of them. I don't know if y'all ever hear them, but don't nothing really mean nothing until the song come out.
All right, so we here, y'all. We back with another episode, Quotables Podcast. We have a fire guest for y'all again, a close friend of the family as well. As you know, we're Quotables. We like to bring on, people that are working around the entertainment industry that have seen some success and can actually come talk about it, tell you their story, and actually, give some tips and motivation to anybody that's on the same path. So today we have a producer, songwriter, somebody that's just getting notoriety for all the hard work he's been putting in the last, 5, 10, even 20 years. And we're going to talk about it here. But at the end of the day, I had the pleasure of working with him. I know what it's like being with him in the studio. He's a beast. Myles T. I mean,
What's up, bro?
What up, fam?
Yes, sir.
What up?
My guy.
Of course.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. And, y'all know I'm from the DMV. He from West Virginia. So, you know what I'm saying? It's still Virginia at the end of the day. So we here, y'all. We here.
We don't count West Virginia.
It's different. I mean, it's
we.
definitely a separate state. It's definitely a separate state. People forget that.
Yeah, like, who your most famous person?
From West Virginia?
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss is up there.
It's like Randy Moss than you. Type
No,
shit.
there's many other people in there. Sports world, politicians. This is different people. It's people.
Hey, don't let him make the rules. He don't know what you're talking about. He Philly.
I've never been to West Virginia.
Pull up.
I'm not going down there.
Why not?
Shit, I'll pull up. We do a Zammy on the block.
There's like a the Mountain Dew town, I think in West Virginia. It's like an Appalachian town.
Yeah.
Where like everybody just drinks Mountain Dew because the water's so bad.
Is that true?
I ain't never heard of that.
I'll
send
It might be real though. It wouldn't surprise me if it's real, but I ain't never heard of
like
that.
a thing. It's like a Mountain Dew factory there. Like everybody's addicted to Mountain Dew.
I ain't never heard of it.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to go there.
You just got to come to where I'm from. Come to where I'm from. It might be a little different. We'll make sure you're all right.
What time? Oh.
What's crazy is I've been there too. I remember we was cooking up for a minute, and it took me a minute to connect the dots because when I went, I ain't see no black people besides the ones that was at the college. But I had to connect the dots. I'm like, there's a college, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, it looked like this. He's like, yeah. I'm like, there's like a river or something that goes. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yo, I've been there before.
Oh, you went to Marshall? That was what college you went to?
I'm trying to remember, bro. Charleston.
Oh, you went to UC.
Yeah.
UC or Charlestown. If you went to if you was was it close to Virginia or was
basically
it
they have it's like a school or university that has like I know there's like a body of water that was floating past it.
That might be UC. UC right there on the water.
Yeah,
that's right where I'm from. Like if you was at University of Charleston, that's right where I'm from.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
That's where you was at. Yeah, that's right where I'm from.
That's fire. Okay, so I know a little about it.
So
welcome.
So tell us your path. Like, how did you get here from?
Hold on. How you doing?
Oh man,
we gotta check in with.
Yo, my bad.
I'm good. I'm doing real good. It's good to see y'all. I ain't seen y'all in a minute.
Yeah,
but we probably gonna get into all of that. But I've obviously known y'all for a minute. Y'all are a reason why I stayed out here in LA. So we can get into all of that. But now I'm doing good.
You doing like actually good? Like,
okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm healthy. Fam good. Everybody good. I'm happy. So.
Love that.
Word.
All right, now we can get into the weeds.
That's my fault.
It's all love.
Yeah, tell us about growing up. You're from a smaller city, I'm assuming.
Sure.
So, like, where did this love of music and like how did you end up in LA?
Man, so yeah, like you said, I'm from a smaller town, smaller city. Grew up, I would say normal, kind of like everybody else. A lot of the people, we got similar stories or whatever. But as far as the music, my pops came home with some turntables one day that he had got off his homie, and I was little, I was a kid, and he was like, yo, you want these? And he gave me that, but he also had like My pops had just about every rap album from like Sugar Hill Gang, like back then, up until like 2000, early 2000-ish or something when he quit,
Jeez.
when he was just slowed down on listening to rap. But vinyls, cassettes, all of that. Mom had a collection, auntie had a collection, and I grew up behind the record store. So I was just always kind of tapped into the music. I was super heavy on the computers too, always been in the computers. So just, messing around as a kid is kind of how it started for me. I was young doing that.
No, that's fire. I mean, it sounds like part of it is, just natural ability, but the other thing is the environment. Like it's just you grew up behind a record store, like it's random as fuck. But also, like my parents kept, I guess it was a thing from their era to keep these, cassettes or these records. But for me, I wouldn't see them often. They in the basement behind some, like they pull them out like once a year, if that.
Word.
I wasn't really seeing that. So yeah, it seems like the environment definitely played a part in why you got into music so early.
For both of y'all, do y'all remember that first time y'all heard like a song and y'all were like, "Oh, I love this shit"? Like I love this.
For me, it was Sade. It was like the first time I heard my I think my dad was like cleaning around the house on a Sunday. I remember it because it's such a vivid memory. I know where I was in the house, and like I know what time of day it was. I remember the sun coming through the window, and it was so long ago. I don't know why I remember it so well, but it was definitely Sade, and I don't know, her voice was just ringing off through the house. I'm like, it sounded like an angel, bro. I'm like, who is this? And I'll never forget that.
Word. For me, it kind of similar. I can remember like I'm into a lot of soul music and stuff, so I can remember kind of like you were saying Sunday morning and stuff, hearing some of them older records, depending on who was playing them. But more, I think take it a different route a little bit. Like I remember the first album that really had an impact on me. I was a little bit older. I had already had favorite songs and favorite albums or something, but I remember my mom was like, "Yo, you need to hear about this album." And I'm like, "What is this album? Like, what are you talking about?" She was like, "This dude right here, you need to know about this." And it was College Dropout by Ye.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was like, she was just like, it was the only time anybody ever pulled up on me was like, "Yo, you need to listen to this." And I'm like, "Wow, like what are you talking about?" She's like, "I think this is gonna be something." I was like, "All right, well."
Damn.
To this day, it's probably still my favorite album.
Yeah, mama A&R and shit.
Word.
Nice.
Word. That was hard. Yeah.
That's crazy. Just, she tapped in like that. My parents, they a little older than most of my friends' parents, but they still on, smooth jazz and shit like that. So when niggas really, and they was fucking with rapping in the beginning, Sugar Hill Gang, shit like that. When they just took it to that next level with the crack era rapping, and from then on, they was not fucking with that shit.
Yeah.
They was not fucking with all that, all the drug talk and shit. So
Understood.
that's the type of household I was in. But all right, so that's good to know. So you grew up West Virginia behind, what I'm saying, record store, parents playing music, putting you on to things. So that makes a lot of sense. When did you start actually saying, all right, let me try to make a beat?
Man, when I was DJing and I was rapping a little bit at first. Oh. Yeah, because my pops had brought the turntables, and then it was like a little Radio Shack down the street, and it was a Rite Aid across the street, and like I was just always trying to hook something up. Like I was trying to build a studio. So I'm like, and I was like, how do I record?
Yeah.
And if y'all remember, this is low key kind of around like the Soulja Boy era.
Okay.
So like, if you looked into how people was recording back then, some people was recording like off the Xbox mics, little computer mics. If y'all remember like elementary school,
any mic you could
get, you figuring out how to like. But that's how I'm learning about sound cards and how I'm learning about different ways that you can like connect through audio interfaces and stuff. So yeah, I started rapping and stuff and just figuring stuff out and learning different tools, and then downloading different programs to learn how to record. Ended up with FL.
Okay, I was going to ask what was the first?
Ended up with FL. I mean, I had all the other programs too though, like, cause I would take any old computer that somebody was giving away or something that I could get for free,
just tweak it.
I would just get it and see what was on there, see what was up. So I had like an old MacBook that had like old GarageBand and stuff like that. So I was just getting familiar with everything. But as far as like when I really tapped in, when I found FL, and this had been maybe a year or two after trying to record myself or whatever, and then once I found out how to make beats, I was like, yeah, this is dope.
So how do you find that out? Because we talking about Yeah, I guess. I mean, we talking about Soulja Boy, so YouTube existed, but it wasn't a tool.
Yeah.
It wasn't back then. It wasn't YouTube. I could just go in there and figure anything out. So how was you figuring out how to make your first beat? Because I tried my damn self, and I said this shit is ass, and I was like, I'm never gonna figure this out, and I tried something else.
I've also tried. I was really I made up one loop, and then I was like, all right, yeah.
I mean, different ways. Like I had a little beat machine for a little bit too, and then anytime I would see anybody who did anything music related or even audio related, or like, you know, whether we go down to like because it wasn't a lot of recording studios where I grew up at, but I would try to like make pieces and stuff, like go to the radio station or something. I'm asking about what program y'all using to record. I literally just did it. I just asked them about the whole setup. So I've been doing that since I was younger and figuring stuff out. So once I kind of learned how to record and do all of that stuff is when I kind of just took it to the I ain't even gonna lie, I forgot what y'all asked me.
Like basically what made you make your first beat? And like how did you learn to get better at it?
Oh yeah, how did I learn? Yeah, before YouTube. That was way before YouTube.
Yeah.
When I tapped in. But yeah, asking questions, and just messing around, like trying to figure out, learning, and then listening to music and trying to recreate like what I'm hearing as far as like drum patterns or samples, like learning how to try to sample.
Did you have like a natural skill for it, or was it like completely trash and then you were like, all right, let me develop the skill?
It was definitely garbage. Like I definitely made some weak stuff in the beginning, but it was there. Like sometimes I'll go back and listen to some of that stuff because I got a lot of it.
When the joint's like beep beep boop boop,
beep,
boop, boop,
crazy,
beep bop.
Yeah. People used to say it was like, bro, why all your beats sound like you made it on like them little. You remember them little baby toys, little baby, like the little baby xylophones. They was like, bro, your beats sound like that, and I was like, okay, cool.
At the time, who were you trying to emulate?
At the time when I started to make beats, anything down south, like with a lot of bass, I was trying to do, because people that back then, that's when people was like riding a lot of rims. People had systems in the car, so anytime somebody would drive down, I'm trying to. You know, I was like, how is their car shaking
the block,
my crib, the block? So I'm like, if I make beats, I got to make something like that.
Yeah.
But then it evolved from that, and then obviously Soulja Boy again, seeing that people was really actually figuring out how to make beats on the computer. I'm like, that's interesting. So, but you know, then obviously I grew up digging in the crates and stuff like that, so I was always reading credits and checking stuff out like that. So anytime I find something dope, I pick that apart and I would, you know, gravitate towards that.
Okay. So let me ask, I guess, along the way, this is typical for creatives. You were showing people these beats you were making, and you probably thought they were great because you like, yo, I just did this from nothing. Like, yo, listen to this. Did you get any, did you have any negative people around you? People like, why are you doing this? Like, what, like, you're wasting your time type of thing.
I mean, kinda, but I never, of course, because where I grew up, it's no rappers. It's no music industry, really. Like, there's local people, there's local music, there's people who do music, but it's no, you know, I never thought it would be something that, you know, you could make some money off of, or you could go, like, I never thought about how you could do that. So I would show people, but even myself, I wasn't really taking it super serious. I was just the one who knew how to do it. You know, if you wanted to record or figure something out like that, like, you know, I could, let's try to do something. But I was always doing it and showing people. But, you know, some people just kind of didn't really take it serious. But I didn't even take it too serious myself. I just knew I liked doing it, and it was dope, and I wanted to be good at it. But I never, you know, got offended or anything if somebody was like, why you gonna do that? Because I'm like, man, this is cool. Like, I think this is dope. Like, you know, we'll take it from it's gonna give me whatever it's gonna give me. Like, I don't have no expectations or anything. So kind of just navigate that way.
I like that. Yeah.
Is there anybody locally, like in West Virginia, that I guess just never got their shot, or like didn't get the recognition in the rap game or production game that you can think of?
I mean, it's a lot of local people that I grew up. Like, it was this dude named 66240. Him, his brother Monster Lung. They a little bit older than me, but they had a song called Gold and the Blue that was hard.
Write that down.
That went. It was pretty big at WVU. So WVU's a big college up there, Morgantown. They had pretty big song that was important during that time period, and they was doing some stuff. So I remember seeing them, and I was like, dang, that's cool. I thought that was dope, and then just locally, like, yeah.
Oh, because of the school colors.
Because of the school colors,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So that was like a big song that I would hear on the radio.
Yeah.
And I would hear it on the radio, and I'd be like, oh, there's some dudes from here that's on the radio. Like, I had never heard of that. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So they had did some stuff. I think they had done some stuff in the industry as well. I don't know too much because I was little, so I don't really know what all they got to do. But it's country people too. Like, even if I don't know all of them directly, but it's some bigger country artists that's from there, because it's more like, a country show will come to West Virginia, where I'm from, and sell out.
Mm-hmm.
But more so locally, it's some local rappers that's around. But I don't know. I don't consider it as got they shot or anything like that. I think it's kind of like what you make out of it.
Yeah.
Make what you make
For
out of it,
sure.
because it's not like it's no labels or nothing back home. So
Yeah.
Nah, I know what you mean. Cause I used to travel to the South a lot as a kid. Some of my cousins was like rappers, and they was rappers in that Boosie era in New Orleans and all that stuff. And they was kind of in that same bag. Like, they know you in Louisiana, New Orleans, and that's about it. But you got motion in that area, cause so Golden and Blue makes sense, cause that's definitely that era where it's like. Make a song about, like, I don't know, your city somehow, and like your city gonna get behind it, and that type of thing.
Yeah, that was hard. I just remember something. Y'all asked me how I was learning this stuff. There was actually a camp. There was a hip hop boot camp.
Damn.
When I was younger.
Yo, shout out to whoever did that. I think that's fire. Not to cut you off, but like, I remember a while ago hearing like 3 6 Mafia was doing something like that for their hometown. And that's why, they cultivated more producers over the years that were very talented, because people are doing things like that create the next producer in your town. So that's fine. Tell me more about that.
Now, that was dope. The dude who taught the production class, his name was Chris Kessel. I seen him when I went back home, and his brother was a DJ, Charlie Black. But I seen them, and I was like, yo, when I was younger, I remember that hip hop boot camp that we had. It was crazy. That was a crazy camp. They took a bunch of kids and took us to like a 4-H camp out in the forest, kind of almost. And you could pick your different courses though. Like, you could pick production, you could rap. I think they had something for video. I think they had something for graffiti.
Damn.
So it was dope, and you went out there and you learned how to do some stuff. And going there was a center called the Roosevelt Center that had a little studio. So different things like that definitely helped me learn. And just taking it, building upon that. But the hip hop boot camp specifically was cool. Like, I don't know if they still got it, but that was dope.
Those things go a long way, bro. Like, and it's one of those things where, like, in the moment, like, somebody that's creating something like that, you're not gonna see the results for years to come.
Yep.
But then some years down the line, you got someone like Myles sitting here still bringing it up, saying it impacted him. And I also remember even Drake, he came up in this kind of like incubator for like artists in Toronto, where they had some studios you can go and work out of and get mentorship. Those things created Drake. So, and that's how he met 40. So things like that, they go a long way, bro.
100%.
I feel like we don't hear about that in anything else but sports. Like, you hear about sports camps like constantly.
True.
And how they develop players, and you'll see Jason Tatum like taking a picture of LeBron at 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
But like, damn, that's a great idea too.
Yeah. No, it was dope. Hopefully they bring that back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to tackle.
we might have
You was asking what this is. So the cause international, his face. I really want.
Nah, what y'all got going on? Because y'all put up with some gear. I'm like, okay, why I ain't got none? What is that?
Shout out to Cause International. So the Cause International is a nonprofit foundation. So I basically just hosted their brunch fundraisers just yesterday. And they give back to areas in need for water. They also give health insurance and things like that. But they're huge on giving back. They do school tours and they mentor kids. So they go to high schools and they basically bring in a panel of, people our age that are successful in different realms. And then they allow them to speak to the kids. And then if the kids are interested in one of the realms, you can connect with them. And now you have a mentor in that space. So, hey, I mean, you might be able to get you, hey, Antoine, I know you watching this because you be tapped in. So we might have to get you tapped in with Myles to get something going on in West Virginia, man.
Holla at me.
That would be fire, bro.
Let's figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna connect the
That'll be
dots.
Stuff like that is important though, like y'all saying. Like I remember just being a kid, all the different things that impacted me, whether like you were saying, whether you know it or not, or even I seen one of my camp counselors the other day. I ended up pulling up back home and just ran into him, and I was like, "Yo, I remember you. Like you was a good dude. Like you impacted me." So yeah, that stuff is important.
No, that's fire. That's fire. Okay, so all right, so we got the backstory, right? So we know how you started this producing thing. Now tell me, how does the move from West Virginia to LA even come about?
That was a crazy time because that was during the pandemic, and I never planned to go to LA, or I never thought.
For real? It was during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
I thought you'd been out there for a minute. Okay.
Ooh,
We met you just moved
I
out.
just got here
Damn.
when I had met y'all. Like I had low-key just got out here. So, but yeah, it was the pandemic, and I had a tech job. I still got a tech job. So I was working in tech, working remote. Obviously, pandemic, bunch of different things, crazy things happened. But I was working from home. Pandemic happened. Nobody going back home, or nobody going back into the office at the time. So I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Or what do I want to do? Because I could either go back out. I was living closer to D.C. At the time. But because when I had got my job, that's where the office was, out there. So I was like, do I go back out there? Or do I, my mom and her boyfriend at the time was out here doing some work. Because he worked for like a social media company and did some business out here, and they just had an apartment. They was going to be out here for a couple months while they was getting stuff figured out to do some work. And I was like, I could come out there for a couple of months and chill in LA, like chill in Cali. Like, get that figured out. But they had mentioned as well, like, it's people who do music. It was actually J-Zack and them who was on the podcast. So we had stayed in like the same like compound, like duplex compound. Yeah, y'all came over there a couple times, but I had pulled up, and that's where I pulled up to. And me and my brother drove cross country, like randomly.
Oh, you drove?
Yeah, we just drove over here. Like I was supposed to go back. I just didn't end up going back because a series of events happened that kept me out here. But yeah, I was supposed to go back. I just never went back, basically. But me and my brother drove over here and started. When I met people who was doing music full time, basically, I was like, what? It kind of blew my mind because I was like, I was always doing it, but I was like, I ain't never seen no industry. I never seen. I was hip on the YouTube and the internet, and I was doing all of that, like selling beats. But when I met some people who was doing it, basically for real, I was like, well, y'all kind of, this is what I've been doing. Y'all just got some business behind it or some motion behind it. Some it's more official. So I was like, we just see what's going on. So I ended up meeting, a bunch of people, y'all, J-Zack, Lil Rich, Aziz, all of those guys, and then getting it figured out, and that's what kind of kept me here.
Okay.
Wow.
I can see that because that compound in that time for a good, I don't know how many years, that compound was like, it was some special energy in that compound.
It was dope.
I done seen, meeting the people you mentioned, and then also even after the fact, I done seen like somebody would move out, and then some other creative would be like, okay, I'll move in, and then he'll move in, and then he'll blow up in like 4 months, or just because that creative energy is just got everybody working, bro. Yeah. That compound was different. Like,
sure.
I remember pulling up, they're like, yeah, come look at it, come look at the studio. And I come in their bedroom, they got the whole studio set up, and I'm like, damn, this is hard. Like, cool. It's inspiring. It was inspiring for sure.
Word.
That's fine. Yeah, shout out J-Zack as well, man. That's J-Zack, everybody you mentioned, man. Shout out y'all. That's very, very, it's always inspiring. And that's why niggas like us went to LA, me personally, because I needed to be around that energy. Yeah. Like, I'm not living in Maryland where I'm from. I'm not going to get that energy where niggas is just creating, and like, I can like feel like I'm not crazy for wanting to create too, and like make something of it. So, I see why you stayed.
Yeah, and then it opened my eyes up too, because then I was like, what you talking about? I was like, I didn't even really understand that at first. I was like, oh, you get around certain things, like you can kind of, it's going to influence you a different way. I also learned that my beats wasn't as hard as they needed to be, because I'm out here and I'm listening and I'm like, dang, my beats is not hitting as hard as they needed to be.
When did you get that thought? Like, were you in the studio with Rocky? Or?
Definitely in the studio with everybody. Really Aziz though. Like Aziz would be. I'm listening, and Rich, all of those dudes that's nice, that's making beats. I'm like, it just sounds it sounds how it's supposed to sound. Like, it
Yeah.
sounds like it's there.
Like
Y'all was
butter.
big on that too. You was big on that too, because when we
Yeah.
would be in there, we was like, well, it's got to sound right. Like, it's got to
Yeah.
sound like something. And that's what I was trying to learn it. Kind of like iron sharpens iron. When you get in the gym with people that's nice or that you're supposed to be with, like, you're going to get better. But, you know, also just being open, like, and being honest with yourself too, to where it's like, if it ain't there, it ain't there. But I don't mean you can't get it there.
No, that's a fact.
But
It's
to your
definitely
point,
that.
being around that and being around the real deal of stuff, like, really helps out.
Yeah, you like, bruh, like, you think you had it straight and you hearing they shit, you like, yo, this shit sound like buttered. Like, y'all putting like, y'all like saran wrapping these beats. Like, why it just got this extra, like, official sound to it. Like, what are y'all doing?
And then you realize it ain't really that much. I know this ain't really the producer podcast kind of all the way, but if
It
you
is
get
now.
it can be. But yeah, it's really, you know, you'll think that it's like, oh, I gotta have this piece of equipment, or I gotta have this plug
Right.
in, or I gotta have all of this, and it's like, not really. I mean, obviously certain things help. Tools is tools, but you know, you can do a lot with a little. You just
That's a
gotta do
fact.
it the right way.
That's a fact. That's another thing I learned with their compound. He showed me his studio, and I'm like, Jay-Z, like, this is where I record everything. And it's like, they used to be talking about, oh, you need like a studio, because we was building the studio at the time. So we learning, oh, you niggas doing like triple walls and putting foam in between the walls, and oh, this the window is gonna allow sound to get out. We learning all of this stuff. You go to Jay-Z crib, he just got the mic next to the computer. He got a couple panels on the wall. That's about it.
Mad people record that way though. Mad people record that way. I can remember even like growing up watching YouTube, like seeing the old Lil Wayne videos or something. They just be in the hotel cutting classic records, like classic mixtape records. Or, you know, that's more common now, and that's kind of like all you need.
Is sorry to interrupt. Is that because like the mic is better now, or is it just for ease and people take out the background noise, like the room noise, or?
I mean, all of that matters. Like, I think technology advances in all aspects, categories. So that'll help and make it easier and more compact, you know, as newer things come. But it's just really about the tools and understanding what you're doing. That's why, like, now you can find anything. Like, you can find anything. We got so much information that you can tap into. Yeah. Whether it be production or whatever you want to learn, you can Google and you can learn how to do everything. So I think that helps, like, people having access to it. Yeah. But then also, that don't mean just because you got the best or you got a lot that you're gonna be actually good at it or you're gonna be nice with it. Like,
that's a fact.
You know, it's just all about, like, you know, really mastering the skills and different things, and that's with anything. Like, you know, I done seen mad people show up to the gym in some of the best shoes. That don't mean they can hoop.
Damn.
That's deep, my boy.
That's a fact. That actually is a strong indicator that you can't hoop. Yeah. You pull up a little too swaggy. It's like, bro, this nigga, look, he got the armband. He got the sweatband on his head. All this.
Ain't nothing like the dude that show up with the jersey on, too.
Yeah, official NBA jersey on. Like, oh, he doing a lot right now.
Buddy, you are not Kawhi Leonard.
No, that's funny. That's actually a big indicator of the opposite. That's very funny, and it's like that in a lot of things in life. That's great.
Because y'all, like, that makes me really think. Y'all both brought up, like, people recording pretty simple now. Like, I was watching some Larry June John. He records in the morning for a couple hours, and then he go about his day. Yeah, he like cook breakfast, juice a fucking orange.
That's Jay-Z too, man, which is crazy to see. Like, and Jay-Z. We interviewed him here, and he was just telling us how, like, been doing that for damn near a decade or more. Or just wake up in the morning, record some shit, get a song off or two, and then just go about his day. Maybe shoot a content, and that's nigga build an empire off of that. So that's very fire. Let me see. So when did you first know you had something with this production thing where you're like, I think I can make some money off of this? Like, I think there's actually money that could be made off of this production thing.
Really, when I did a couple beat battles and stuff when I was in high school. Like, just, you know.
You won them hoes?
What's a beat battle?
Like a beat battle?
That's a good question.
So I don't, like, I've only done like a couple, but like some people really do them for real. But like, you pull up and play beats, and like, you know, whoever got the hardest beats, they got judges.
It's like a rap battle?
I guess so, but you know, for producers mainly, like, so producers pull up, play beats.
You gotta walk me through. So you walk into this room and like it's people. Yeah. And then you plug in the aux and then you just play a beat and niggas is like, oh, you going to the next round?
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I never heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. They do that. I think I've been seeing them. I've been seeing them kind of pop back up, but I only did a couple of them. Like, cause honestly, a battle for a beat and a battle for an artist, like it can be kind of different. Like just based on like what you're gonna do. Like, you know,
like
same way with battle rap.
Like a good R&B beat might not win against a fucking trap beat or something.
And you might be doing some extra stuff in the beat battle. Like you might be putting some effects in there that, I mean, you might not be able to make a song over. But I had went to a couple of things like that, and people had tapped in. Some local artists had asked me for some beats. So I was like, all right, at least I know how to do something that like people can like, it don't sound completely horrible. Like, and then I'm listening to, and just really being inspired by people like even Metro, 808, Mafia, all them dudes that was making a lot of them down south Atlanta beats. I was like, you know, they making them on the same thing that I'm making it on. So let me try to get to that level. So when I got to college is really probably when, because like I said, again, going back to the tech stuff and just being on the computer, I learned I was building websites and stuff at the time. I was like, all right, I'm seeing people selling beats online. I'm gonna build a website, you know, put the beats on there. I'm gonna do the YouTube thing. You know, people be doing the type beat and all of that. I was trying to do that for a little bit. But you know, that's when I was like, all right, at least I can get to that level and do it.
So you selling them joints off the tube?
I was trying to, I was trying to for a little bit because I had a homie named Luke White.
You
remember Luke White? Yeah,
Luke White. He was nice.
Yeah, he was nice.
Boy is nice.
Yeah, he's still nice. He was going crazy on YouTube though. So he was like, I don't know. He had a couple beats with like a couple million views. He's selling stuff. I think he had like some a Tentacion record and a Joey Badass record. Like he had a couple records at the time. I was like, how's he doing this? And I hit him up. He hit me back. I put up to his crib. He just regular crib in the basement, like doing all of this. I'm like, yo, what is going on? So, but yeah, seeing that, and I'm like, all right, well, cool. I guess you could be on the internet and like do some stuff. So that's, you know, and you're here now. A lot of people turned that into something and did a lot of stuff. So that was common for a bit. But when I seen that, I was like, cool. Well, let's try to do it this way. And then after that, it was kind of like, for me, just as far as the production goes, it was like, it's probably something I'm always going to do. I don't know how far it's going to take me. I don't know if it's going to take me anywhere. Like I said, I don't really have no expectations, but I know I love it. And I know I'm kind of nice. So I'm going to just keep doing it.
You talked about coming to LA and meeting these people with like these, like, to use these words, like these crispy beats. Do you remember that first time you broke through and you were like, oh, I made something really polished?
I mean,
or was it a time frame where you were like, oh, I get it now?
I think it just I gradually just tried to tweak and get better. Because I would have those moments where I'd be like, this the one, and then I go play, and I'm like, it's still not the one. You know, and it still happens to this day. Like, it still happens to this day. But, you know, I know what I'm shooting for the most part. I think a little bit better now and kind of got a little bit better of an understanding of certain things. But it still happens. You know, it still happens. But I think to answer the original question, just kind of gradually. It wasn't like a light bulb moment or anything like that.
Okay. So tell me, when was your first real placement where they was like, yeah, fill out this paperwork, you know what I'm saying, XYZ, do all these things that you never did before so you can get your shit straight. When did that happen?
That was with the homie Bouvet.
Shout out Bouvet.
The homie
bro.
Bouvet had linked, it was an artist called Felly. So I was on Felly's album, Young Fail 2. It was a song called Come On that I had got placed on that record. The homie Bouvet helped me get that one. But that was the first time I ever had to get a lawyer, get any paperwork, or get anything. You know, that was like, I guess, that was in that world where it's like, okay, it's kind of official. With like, you know, a label that was going to put something behind it. So that's how I started understanding. I'm like, okay, this is a business. Like, obviously, I love this. Everybody loves this one to be creative, but the business component and how you really make stuff official, like, it's a whole world, as y'all know, that you got to kind of learn and navigate through. But for me, it was around then, and I was probably like, dang, what was the date? That might have been 2021 or something.
Yeah, because we still had the studio.
Yeah, it was around then. It was around then, I think, 2021. Yup.
Yeah.
Something, I think.
Shout out Bouvet, bro. Bouvet, if y'all don't know already, y'all gotta tap in. Bouvet is an artist that deserves to be, you know, world renowned, and he will in due time. But right now we putting you on. So go, once you finish this video, go through YouTube. He got some fire music videos, fire music, and tap into Bouvet for sure.
He's all
but with that being said, so you said that happened. What about that process was like stood out to you, or what did you learn in that process that maybe, some producers that ain't get the opportunity yet, but it's coming, should know whenever somebody reaches out in that vein?
I mean, you hear, just pay attention. Like, just pay attention, go through the process, because it's certain things that you got to do. Definitely get you a lawyer, get somebody to look over your paperwork.
Like what kind of lawyer?
An entertainment lawyer,
Just general
music
entertainment
lawyer. Yeah, just anybody that can go over some paperwork for you. Like, the lawyer is important piece, but just make sure you get somebody, especially when you first get started out. Like, you're gonna keep learning. I don't know everything. It's still stuff that I don't got, together, but I definitely still take it serious. Make sure I'm doing it, and ask questions too. Like, ask questions if you don't know something, if you don't understand what certain things mean. Like, ask those questions. So,
Like perpetuity. That's a big one.
Ask whatever that means.
Perpetuity.
That's people's job to explain it to you. That's the point of a lawyer. That's why you're paying them money. So, ask questions. It's going to cost you, but it's going to be a good investment.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
It's going to cost you. It's way better to know what perpetuity means before you sign that motherfucker.
End up like Kanye.
It's fucking 10 years later, you like, bro, what if I still ain't getting no money from that? Nigga, perpetuity, nigga. Okay, that's fine. So shout out Felly as well for that opportunity. So let me think. You get your first placement where you're like, damn, this shit is really real. It's really hitting. I'm trying to put myself in your mindset. Now you like, all right, what are you thinking? Are you like, I can do more. I can go bigger. Or you like, oh, that was cool, but that probably won't happen again. Or like,
and to add on to that, you keep mentioning you have a stable job at this point.
Yeah.
And you still have this job.
Yeah.
So like, to attach to Z's question is like, do you like think about, do I migrate away from this job because maybe this could pay and I love this thing? Or
yeah, but you got to be realistic. Like, you got to be able to live. I'm not making no money off music. Wasn't making no money off music. So it's like, I can't why would I just drop everything that I'm doing? And you'll go through these moments where it's like, dang, all of my homies is really all the way in when it comes to it, But I mean, everybody's path is different. So I'm thinking that, and to your point, it's like, okay, I still got a job, still working. It's like, I'm gonna just have to grind, like, on every single aspect of everything, because like, I really like producing. I really love this producing. So it's like, I got to figure out how to do it, because to be a real producer, because I got passion for it. I'm learning. I'm loving it. I'm really, putting time and energy into it. But obviously, still doing still going to work and stuff. So it's like, all right, cool. I just gotta get on the grind and like keep going, pedal to the metal, like figure out what happens.
Do you have a structure to your grind? Like, are you on some Kanye and making 5 beats a day? Do you make a certain amount a week?
Nah. I mean, I think in the beginning you can do that, like, especially when you trying to understand and get better. And I think it helps to do certain things like that. Like, that's kind of like going to the gym. But I've done stuff like that. I think for me, it's just like, when you love something, at the end of the day, you're gonna do it regardless. Like, and then, combining that with a little bit of discipline, a little bit of hard work, and mainly just not making no excuses. Like, I think that's when you're gonna see it pay off the most. You can have a system, but
I agree with that.
Leaning into it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What can you tell people that may want to move to LA, specifically producers, I guess? What can you tell them about navigating LA in this producer music industry realm? Maybe something you learned, maybe a crazy story that you was in the studio and some shit went left and you're like, damn, what the fuck? This is what this is about. Like, what can you tell them to look out for, if they want to make that move?
I mean, I think for me, all I can speak about is like my experience and like what I've done. Like, I ain't gonna try to tell people what they shouldn't do. I think yeah, coming out here, if you can find like you a group of people, like, people always talk about it's who you know and like how you build whatever community you decide to build. I try to do that early on and work with those people, because you hear a lot about people when you networking or when you working with people, like, work with the people that's right beside you or that Like, I like working with the people that I actually know. So, like, build real relationships and actually be friends with people, and that's going to be a lot easier. Like, anybody I work with, I try to actually be friends with, like, that I would hang out with outside of music, because I think it just makes it easier. So, definitely that. And then when you start pulling up the sessions, like, just be cool, just be yourself. Like, don't overthink it. Don't try to do too much.
Word.
Whatever.
Now think about how does that go down? Because I got the pleasure of, I guess, of seeing firsthand somewhat how it works, but I'm not a producer, so I don't know how it really goes down. It's like what I've seen, right? You have a session, might be one artist, or it might be no artist in a session, and it's probably like one producer that's really, the nigga that's clouded in the session. He's like, yo, we gotta make some beats, so let's just cook up. How do you insert yourself into that beat making session as someone that doesn't have any credibility, and you just like, they going crazy, and you're like, I can't go crazy, but I don't want to overstep, but also I want to prove myself, and like, how does that go down?
Just, wait on the right time. Don't overdo it. If you get asked or if you hear something, you don't be scared to speak up. Closed mouth don't get fed, but just make sure everything makes sense. Like, don't try to overdo it. But if you got a good idea, you can try to add it. If that's the environment that you in, you might just be in an environment where it's like, okay, somebody's super locked in. But if you in that creative environment, like, don't be scared to collaborate. At the end of the day, we all making music and doing what we love. So it's like, people get that. People get that. They understand that when it's time to get into that mode.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I think that's something that's big that I want to repeat is closed mouths don't get fed. So you definitely, like, what I'm saying? You have to learn how to, just step up and just try some shit. Like, if you have an idea, like you said, just get out and try it, especially if you're skilled and you're skilled.
Yeah. And if somebody say they don't want no help or they want you to back off or something, just let them. Like, you don't got to be offended or anything. Like, sometimes it could just be that. Like, okay, cool. Like, that ain't what you want right now. Cool. Like, that's part of being a producer. Or being, I think that's part of being a producer.
That's fire. Okay, so can you tell me about any legendary sessions or any sessions that you've been in with, I guess maybe somebody you've seen online or somebody that you respect, that you ended up, in the same vicinity as, and how did that feel? How did that go down?
I don't know if I had any big sessions, to be honest, like that.
It'd be virtual. It'd be a lot of.
It'd be that or just sessions with my friends or people coming through. Like, I ain't really had like a big session with a big artist or anything that I could think of. But
so break down how the Big Sean. Let's get to it. How did Big Sean thing come about? Because you got 2 records, right?
Yep.
On his last project. What was the project called?
Better Me Than You.
Better Me Than You. He got 2 records on the last project. So how does that go down from start to finish? So any producers watching that ain't really hit their lick yet, they know what could happen if you just keep trying.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was one of those moments, like I was saying. The way it happened was my homie Lil Rich. Y'all know Rich, super talented, fire producer, artist, engineer, everything. We had been working and just being cool for a couple of years, working on things here and there. He hit me one day and was like, "Yo, I'm working on some joints for Big Sean. Like, pull up." And like, let's try to, do something. It was
Yo said, fuck these meetings.
Cancel.
He was like, you want to come work on some records? And I'm like, yeah, let's just cook up. So we just spent a couple hours doing some things. He had some of the records. Like, again, I'm just adding, just doing stuff. I'm not thinking too much of it because it's like, you never really know. And I had been out here for a couple of years, so I'm also learning, like, don't nothing really mean nothing until the song come out. Actually, you hear that song. When the paperwork come and then when that song come out. Like, so I had never, it was just kind of like, yeah, let's do this. Let's make beats again. Like, let's do that. But nah, shout out to Rich for that. Rich put that together. He brought me in on them records. And then, Sean ended up liking them, thankfully. So, couldn't have, what I'm trying to say, I couldn't have thought of that. Or plan that out. Like, that kind of was just something that popped up. But just being ready, like, when opportunity calls, like, just be ready.
What songs did your beats end up on?
Who You Are, which is dope.
Yeah, that's really tough.
Me, Bouvet, Aziz, Rich. We came together and did that one. Tom is another producer on there who I think Big Sean brought in. And then another record called Yes. A lot of different producers on that one as well. But we got 2 of them on there.
So let me ask, something I always wondered, the beat that you send to a major artist. Now, I'm talking about major artists typically because they, like you said, they have their own producers that they might take some shit and flip it. The beat that you send to them and the beat that you hear when it comes out, how different, if any, is it from that to that when you hear the final product?
I mean, I think that just depends. That depends on how close you are to the artist and the project that's coming out. Because sometimes the artist can just take the beat and be like, "Cool, I'm gone," and then do whatever they want with it. Other times they might tap back in how you do some edits or really work with you through the process. So kind of every record gonna be different.
What happened with the Who You Are giant? That's what the Usher sample,
Yeah,
right?
that's the Usher
That shit's crazy. So. Did that sound different in any way, or did they add anything to the beat?
They added a couple things. It was a couple things that was added into there, but not a whole lot. I think, yeah, not a whole lot. I think obviously a final record is going to sound different because it's going to go through mixing and mastering, and I think that's going to make or break a record at times. But that's going to sound a lot different when you hear it fully mixed. It's going to sound a lot different. But they didn't change a whole lot of the production. On that one, obviously some arranging and added some vocals and things like that'll sound different. But as far as the production, it wasn't a whole lot. It was some strings and some other dope pieces that they added. But on that one it wasn't too much. But sometimes you'll get back. Even with the Yes record, when I heard that one finally, it was a whole third verse on there I had never heard. So, but it was dope. So
okay, I got more questions about this too. So then the other thing would be the Usher sample. Whoever decided to put it in there, were y'all thinking, okay, I'm gonna put this Usher sample in there. It's gonna be tough because basically what it played out to be is Usher's on tour. It was a perfect rollout for Big Sean to then attach himself to Usher's tour and then have these promotional posts on Shade Room and all. And so it worked out as a promotional thing. But like when you making a beat, is that what you thinking, or you just like, yo, you just being creative and it just worked out that way?
Yeah, nah, it ain't. That's not my job to think of all of that. Like, I think maybe the artist might have, Sean or whoever. Whenever you get a sample or something like that, obviously it's marketing and stuff that kind of goes into it. But nah, I wasn't thinking nothing of that. That's I think crazy. Subconsciously you could think like, oh, that would be dope, like whatever. But nah, I mean, I ain't never thought of it or made a beat or anything like that. With
that's
that
crazy.
Type of stuff in mind.
So it's just divine. It's just divine timing of things. Because Usher could very easily. He's been chilling for years. He could very easily be chilling the time the song came out, but he's actually like in the media. And I saw like they Big Sean's marketing did a great job connecting the two. It was very, very fire to see for sure.
Yeah.
What?
I wanted to ask, who's the most influential producers to you?
Ooh.
Like if you can give me your Mount Rushmore, those top 4. So we talked about the down south a lot.
Hey, man,
Heavy.
I don't want to limit it to 4, man.
You have to.
Yeah, because I think a lot. I got a brain attack, so it's like I'm gonna overthink it. But I mean, I'll give you some people I listen to. Definitely Ye, definitely Dre, definitely like Metro, TM88, those guys. Those people for sure. Pharrell, Timbaland,
Is there a sleeper in there? Like, yo, this person needs more recognition.
Ooh, I'd probably say somebody like Bink.
Bink?
You know Bink?
Nah, write that down though.
Yeah.
No, Bink did some records. A lot
Where
of Ross
Bink?
joints, a lot of Jay-Z joints.
I think that's a hard name though.
Devil
Bink.
in a New Dress. Devil in a New Dress.
Who got one there?
Bink.
Bink. He did Devil in a New Dress?
Yeah, dudes like that. Dudes like that. People who just got timeless records and records like that. Like, but dope catalog. Cardo would be like another dude with like a crazy catalog. But I mean, I'm tapped into the producers, but like I definitely got my goats that I was just picking apart all of their records.
Who, you only get one. Who would you love to work with in terms of producer, co-producer record with? One. You only get one.
See, I already thought it too. So, I already thought it too. It's either Ye or Dre for sure for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Ye, Dre. We're gonna speak that into existence.
Yeah, Ye watching this right now.
Might be.
Yeah.
He might be. But yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let me ask. Now, let's see. What is your why? What motivates you to keep going and not just say, I'm gonna just go do this, cybersecurity stuff and peace out?
Honestly, the love for the game. I think the love for it, definitely, and just not wanting to quit, like but definitely the love for it. I think I do it for the love, and then maybe somebody will see something that I'm doing and get inspired by it, and then they can go do whatever it is that they're gonna do. Because I remember I grew up looking for certain things or not seeing certain things or certain representation. So it's like if I got the opportunity to represent in any kind of way that might help somebody else out, like that's what I'm gonna try to do. So little things like that.
Okay.
Definitely the little things.
Okay. Where do you see music headed in the next, like, in terms of sound? And we talk about hip hop, rap, R&B specifically. What you think? Because I feel like, a lot of times producers and things like that spend time in studios thinking about, where music is headed. So what's your thoughts?
As far as sound, I don't know where it's headed. I know the people I'm working with is making some cool sounds, like some dope stuff.
I think there was to piggyback off of Z's thing, there was like this moment like last year when country, everyone thought that was going to be the sound. And it could very well pivot. Mm-hmm. Somebody brought up that Not Like Us created a new wave of like hip hop being a thing again. Do you think that's true? Like, does that hold true to you? Because I kind of thought.
I feel like, I mean, it's definitely, I don't know what the biggest genre is right now. It's been hip hop for a minute. It's been rap for a minute. We seen Afro beats and stuff and all of that come. We seen country. A lot of pop records is out there right now. So I think the music industry and the music business is going through a different shift. I think rap music, hip hop music is always going to be what it is in terms of evolving and turning into different things. But I think the industry is in an interesting spot too. I think really what I think about when I think about something like that, I think people is going to start going back to independent stuff. Like I want to see people go back to the trunk and like really start selling stuff out the trunk again.
You think it's possible?
I mean, Larry June be doing it. Like people be doing it. Like they do their own stuff. A lot of people do their own stuff.
So like everybody's history is there. So like Larry June was signed prior to this whole independent thing. So like he was already with Columbia and then fucked up his deal, for lack of a better term. I'm sure he still used those connections and like his leverage from having that to make it to a certain point. Same thing with Chance. Like these people that make it big tend not to be like truly independent. They're still using some form of a system. So like,
I mean, maybe, but like, it's a business at the end of the day. I think you're not going to go into any business and not learn and not use connections or not use resources. Like you need resources and tools in any business. So like, I don't know how you could really, I see what you're saying too. Like some people will be really signed and they say they're independent, but like, I think it is people that's really just
I think my point is, I don't even know if it's possible. Like coming up like a Wiz Khalifa off of that Piff or something like that. You think people can do that nowadays?
I think it's just going to look slightly different because the technology. It's like, it's going to be like, I don't know, fucking NFTs fell off, but like NFT version of selling out the trunk, whatever that looks like, like right now, I think a good example would be bro from La Russell.
Oh yeah.
What he's doing is you can buy a percentage of a song that you believe in, and now he's kind of selling out his trunk in that way, but it's now kind of like it's more of a new age virtualized way of doing that. But now you could buy a percentage of it if you believe in the song, and then whatever he makes, you get a check too. So shit like that, like he's getting creative nowadays. So I can see that. But so let's jump into, you have some new music, some new stuff on the way that you're working on that I'm really excited to hear about. For sure. Because I love when producers get creative in his bag and kind of just don't rely on artists to promote their music or to expand their audience. So tell me about what you got coming out in the next few weeks.
I'm doing an instrumental album, and I'm gonna tell you what that means to me. But I got an instrumental album. It's called Coop Music. I'm dropping it. A lot of the times I've been making beats for a minute, but it took me a while to really start getting artists on my beats and like really get into the music world. But I would always just ride around to the beats anyway, and I used to like riding around. So I was like, and I've had a couple Coops in my life, so I just was like, I'm gonna just call it Coop Music. It's cool to ride around to or listen to or do whatever. So I'm dropping that. But I'm gonna try to drop it like a real project, real album. Like I'm not doing merch or anything, but I'm gonna do a booklet and different things. Like you remember the CDs used to have a booklet talk about kind of like what I was feeling or what I was going through when I was making the beats.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the beats got songs to it. Like it's one beat I got on there that's gonna be on the homie Rich's album.
Okay.
So I plan to do songs to these records as well, and kind of just keep giving it a life. But like we just live in an era where it's like, I mean, you know, I got mad beats. I'm gonna put them out. We can do what we want, like we was just talking about with our music, and figure it out. But in terms of like, yeah, like what you were saying, it's like, you know, I just want to put together something and put some thought into it to where it's like, okay, this is a body of work that, you know, for me, I was like, I think this sound good, just riding around to it or listening to it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna drop that, and I'm gonna try to do a couple different versions of that. Obviously get artists involved, but I'm gonna do a couple different things, and hopefully you see more of those from me.
That's dope.
Tough.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm liking that a lot.
Word.
Especially like I think the one artist I think of with like instrumental albums has been Metro. Like he'll roll out the project like Not All Heroes Wear Capes or whatever. Then he'll roll out the instrumental version. It's cool to see the before.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, this is what the music should. Well, this is the music I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Here's what it could sound like if somebody's on it afterward. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Yeah, because even when I'm listening to what I got, it's like I'm still hearing things. It's like, okay, I'm hearing the outro that I want to do, or I'm hearing little snippets, or I'm hearing little stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, maybe I throw an artist on them one day. I got verses to a couple of them. I don't know if y'all ever hear them, but
you know, no, we gonna hear it. Listen.
But yeah, yeah. So, but to your point, like, yeah, the after. I'm interested in like what these will be too, because like I think we live in a time now where you can give a record life at any time. A record can catch, or a record can do anything at any time. So especially with beats, like you'll hear people say, "I made that beat 10 years ago, just got picked up." So you know,
you never know. I mean, social media. I can see people, you know, tapping in and making freestyles to it on TikTok or something, and then, you know what I'm saying? Now you got TikTok going crazy with that beat. You're like, all right, let's make a song with this artist. Like,
I'm thinking about doing a challenge. I'm thinking about doing some form of challenge. But I just want to see what happens. Like, I want the people to kind of
put it out.
Put it out there and see what happens or what goes from there. But yeah, anything can happen to your point. So, you know, and I'm open to anything. So just
that's what happens when you create and you don't wait. It's just saying. When you create and you don't wait.
Put down merch, man.
Maybe one day.
Quotable.
It's quotable. All right, well, we're gonna end up wrapping it up, but I guess your favorite thing to ask when we wrap up the show.
What is a quote that you live by?
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Quick with it.
Yeah,
it's a fact too.
I think about that a lot, especially when I get lazy.
Yeah.
Especially when I get lazy in a real like easy area,
Yeah.
like making your bed or something.
Hey,
like,
yeah.
dang, bro, you can't even make your bed, bro. How you gonna do something? How you gonna do something for real? How you gonna make a real important decision if you can't even make your bed?
Nah,
How you gonna you know, you working out lazy? How you gonna have a good workout or something like that? But yeah, how you do anything, especially the little things, is how I think it's gonna be a good representation of your life.
No, that's a fact. That's how the basketball coaches used to tell us at practice. Like, and they would say it in a different way, but it's literally the same shit. It's like, bro, the way you practicing, you gonna play like that in the game, and you think you can just turn the switch on when the game come, and you don't, and you're gonna be like, what's wrong with me? It's because you're not practicing hard.
Yeah.
So, hey, you just gotta get used to going hard at all times, bro. So I like that. That's a fire one.
That's a great quote.
Word.
Good shit, bro.
I appreciate it. It's a
thanks
good
for
one,
coming
man.
by, man.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Love, baby.
Glad to see you.
Okay.